If you operate an area within any building that gets routinely wet or contaminated and you haven't suffered a slip, you can count yourself pretty lucky. I wouldn't necessarily say that's down to skill or judgment. It could well be just down to luck. And here's an example of exactly where we found that to be the case. So we were called in by the health and safety manager of a 5-star hotel with a swimming pool. Now, obviously, a swimming pool is going to get wet, as will the showers, as will the changing rooms. And they hadn't had any slips, or any significant slips, should I say, in the 3 years that he'd been in post. However, recently they had suffered a really quite bad slip with a serious injury, and they were therefore doing an investigation. And we went in and did our pendulum slip testing, and basically what we found was that the poolside floor was very, very slippery when it was wet. But floors don't have to be slippery when they're wet, remember. If you've learned anything from watching this video series of chimes, you should hopefully have learnt about that. And the fact that they hadn't had an accident, again, was therefore just luck. It wasn't that the floor was safe, it wasn't that they had fantastic control measures in place. It's just that, as we know, we can walk on slippery when wet surfaces and not slip. But the longer we have those surfaces around, the more likely it is that eventually that bad accident is going to happen. So what are the lessons to be learned? Well, I've been talking about being proactive when it comes to managing slip risks for the last 10 years, and we are seeing evidence of more of that happening. But really, you should be getting an annual pendulum slip test of high-risk areas like this. So poolsides, changing rooms, kitchens, entrances, washrooms, shower rooms, servery areas in restaurants. The list goes on. There are lots of environments in buildings where it is foreseeable that floors will get wet or contaminated, and therefore it is foreseeable that accidents can happen. And in those areas, should be getting annual slip tests done. And then with that data that it provides, you can take action to improve the surface to make it safer, even when it's wet or contaminated, and therefore reduce the risk of accidents. That's the end of the Chimes series as part of this year's Sliptember. I hope you've stuck with me and you found it enlightening and insightful and useful. Lots of philosophies and key points to take away and go to implement in your business. What I'd recommend as a next step is taking the Slip Safety Scorecard. So this is a digital diagnostic tool. It takes about 5 minutes to complete. It's totally free, very simple and easy to use. And in those 5 minutes, you answer a series of questions about your building. At the end of that, you'll get sent a PDF report, which is about 30 pages long, fully personalised to you based on the answers you've given. And you'll get a score for each area of Chimes, including for surface. So on a percentage basis, how well are you doing at managing the risk in each of the areas of Chimes? And you'll also get an overall score as well. Off the back of that, that will give you a bit of a roadmap to kind of understand, where you are now and where you want to get to in the future. And also for each of the areas, it's going to give you a list of top tips to implement in your business to improve. So go ahead and take the scorecard. Once you've done it, you'll get a report. There'll also be a link there to book in a totally free, no obligation Zoom call with me for 15 minutes. We can chat through the report, we can chat through your results, and I can give you some further insights on what's worked for different companies that I've supported over the years in whichever sector it is that you operate in. And hopefully we can come up with a plan together to move you forward and reduce the risk of slips and falls, accidents, injuries and claims in your buildings. Thanks for watching, and I will be back tomorrow with another video about the true cost of accidents. And then next week, there'll be some more video content as well, delving a little bit more into slip testing and various other things. Cheers.